Super Rugby Final.
That voice caught me off guard.
That's how I start every video. Your name is Tony and you're not a whiteboard.
I can play the part of a whiteboard.
We have just watched the Super Rugby Final 2025 between the Crusaders and the Chiefs down in Christchurch, and the score was...
We lost. Not that I'm a Chiefs fan, but the Chiefs lost. What was the score?
16-12.
16-12, and it's disastrous. 8 out of the last 9 years these buggers have won. It's ridiculous. We're depressed.
Yes.
We're sad.
I will admit fully, honestly, that I wanted the Chiefs to win.
Me too.
Because the Crusaders have won it a lot, and...
They hate us, and we hate them.
It would have been nice to see Clayton McMillan head off to Munster as a Super Rugby winning coach, but he's not going to get it. That's the third final in a row.
That's brutal. Brutal. If he had won all 3 of those games, would people be going, why isn't he...
And they're running for the All Blacks.
Yeah, 3 games away, eh? Jeez Louise.
Just not able to get it done. It is a heck of a redemption story for Rob Penny, because he got a lot of stick last year, taking that kind of poison chalice of Razor's job, and that like anything but success, like anything but a trophy is going to be disastrous. And it went from...
It went tits up last year.
It really did.
Went about as bad as it possibly could.
Didn't even make the playoffs.
He was calling...
Journalists, all kinds of names.
Disgraces.
Yes. But what a redemption for him, eh? Maybe he's not a bad coach after all.
And you've really got to take your hat off to the... oh, there it goes. Oh, we are literally on there celebrating on the screen. It was a good shot.
Yeah.
They got a good shot out of it.
David Havili's lifting the trophy.
It's the big moment. Anyway, as we sit here and vomit into our drinks, you've got to give credit to the team. Incredible franchise, incredible culture, incredible internal psychology that's enabled them to win in one of the toughest, hardest to win rugby competitions in the world. You know,
their defence has been nothing short of incredible, impressive, whatever word you want to call it this season, and I think they showed that again. They shut the Blues down in the semi.
Yeah. And
they largely did it against a really attacking-minded Chiefs side this week.
Yeah. Yeah. The Chiefs, we weren't able to see any of that sort of Chiefs creativity.
No.
Kept D-Mac pretty quiet.
Yes.
Sort of, played to their strengths, played with that high ball, kept pressure on, took the breaks when they got them, made the Chiefs pay. Made them pay when they switched. Cody Taylor made them pay when they switched off for a moment there and scored a good try.
Yeah, Havili got himself yellow carded early, which left the door open a little bit for the Chiefs, which they did manage to take that opportunity.
Yeah.
The big prop was Dyer, went over for that one. Jacobson with a nice kind of final ball, 7 points to 0. About as good a start as you could want for the Chiefs, but they didn't really have that kind of attacking, like we say, prowess or just ability to, like, in this entire game, there were 3 clean breaks. Like, I've seen games where individuals get double that. So it was a tight final.
It was a tight final. That's right. One thing we've been saying for a couple of weeks now is you've got to play footy against this team, but a big part of that's got to be they don't let teams play footy. They have such great line speed, such fantastic in the contact. They win the collisions. They win the breakdown. These are massive moments. That's a great shot they got there. They really got a cracker.
The trophy, with all the champagne and whatnot going off. Streamers.
Yeah,
it's painful.
It is painful. It's hard to watch. Look, this year certainly the Blues were not far away from being the final, but they certainly did not deserve to win it or be in the final. If you ask me, they were very lucky to make the semis. The Chiefs, it's just a heartbreaking story for the likes of Clayton McMillan. 3 finals in a row for all their fans and stuff. Like the Chiefs, they're not a team that has a huge amount of haters, but no, Rob Penny gets his redemption story, so that's some sort of good news story in it. But he looks chuffed, doesn't he?
He does, because he gets to kind of, clear his name after being, dragged through the mud after last year's results.
Yeah, exactly.
Helped by Cody Taylor. Nice try from him down
Great
the blind
try from
side.
him.
That's one that the Chiefs, I think, in the review will look back and be a little bit disappointed
They
with.
just switched off on the blind side during a run-of-the-mill maul, really.
Yeah.
Line-out drive.
That evened out
from
the
40 metres out or whatever it was.
That evened out the game to 7 points apiece, and then the Crusaders took the lead and never relinquished it. They had a penalty, made it 10-7, another penalty made it 13-7, and then we did get one try to finish off the first half, which was the final scoring for the Chiefs. Our man Shooter, last kind of game, in New Zealand rugby, managed to get himself over in the corner despite the TMO trying to get it chalked off. But that was the final score.
Was
they
it
had to
2
work
tries
for
to
it.
1, was it?
Was the rest of it just penalties, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, you won the try battle. Chiefs.
Doesn't count for much.
You want to win the points battle, generally.
I feel like the Chiefs struggled under the high ball.
Yeah, especially towards the end when there were some crucial moments, then they just were not able to secure possession and then get anything going in decent territory. Whenever they had the ball, they were always coming out of their own 22 or on their own 22 in their own territory in that sort of yucky zone between the 40-metre line and the 22 a lot of the time.
And you mentioned, because we live streamed the game, you mentioned there was a few times when there was like a 50-50 ball.
Yeah, no, just
the Crusaders guys would just be the first guy to get to it.
Yeah, I kept on saying they keep getting the bounces, but they looked hungrier in a lot of those big crucial moments, and they just did it.
D-Mac had a shot in the second half, which could have potentially put the Chiefs in the lead.
Yeah.
Kind of like that game against the Blues, where they had a chance to put us away, and it just didn't land. Is he not a big game player, or is that just one missed kick in isolation?
I think you have to judge him on some of those moments. Like, look, he's a very talented player, fantastic player, one of those players that you want in your team and can win you a game from anywhere, but we have seen him struggle in big games, go missing in big games, not be as effective at All Black level as we'd like him to be with the talent that he possesses. And I think this is about as close as you get to sort of that test match intensity. So maybe he's not quite. I would love to see him just absolutely boss a big game.
Because you feel like he's got it in the locker.
Yeah. I'd love to see him 2005 Dan Carter, a British and Irish line. You know the game I'm referring to. But we've yet to see it really. He's a good flat track bully.
Yeah.
When it's going well, you think, Jesus, this guy looks like
good
one of the
highlight,
best.
real guy.
Fantastic.
I've been a big supporter of his for a long time because he's got it. He's got the skills.
He was great last week.
Yeah.
But that was in a
Against the
game
Brumbies.
That you kind of felt like they had under control.
Did the Chiefs lose this season when they lost to us in the initial playoff game?
Well, it wasn't good for them. They lost their ability to have a home final.
Do you think if this game is played in Hamilton, do the Chiefs get it done? Or do you think the Crusaders still find a way?
I think Crusaders probably still find a way.
Their scrum was very good.
So they got a couple of first. I think the Chiefs have got a really crafty little front row who are able to manipulate and draw out a couple of cheap penalties, and they did that against the Brumbies last week. And I think that's a bit of the dark arts more than anything else. But just power on power, the Crusaders absolutely had them this week. Yeah. And you gave you this false hope this week, thinking, oh, they got the first 2 scrum penalties. Maybe this is going to be a strength. But it certainly wasn't. They were getting absolutely dominated in crucial moments, you know?
Well, I love a stat. I mean,
you do love a stat.
There's some traditional ones. Territory, 57% Crusaders. Possession, 57% Crusaders. And the penalty count was 7-8, with the Chiefs conceding 8, but 5 of those 8 were the props.
Wow. Right.
So I feel like that's like, this is not the kind of final we said on the stream that you're going to go back and watch for the great highlights.
It's going to be hard to win.
But the Chiefs didn't have those kind of key big match grand final moments that the Crusaders did.
Yeah, right.
Tackle percentages were 94% each, which I feel like takes a bit of the, because people always take Super Rugby is kind of defense is optional. Well, this is not that kind of final. This was a tight.
It was a bit of a. It's not a game you're going to show someone to make them fall in love with rugby. That's so certain. It was a bit of a turgid affair, but
it's a final.
It's a final. yeah, it felt like a final where you just go, especially if you're one of those fans of one of those teams, you're squeezing your butt the whole damn
time.
game.
Yep.
We were just.
If you're a neutral, you're kind of waiting for it just to open up a little bit.
Yeah. And like, in terms of like a spectacle, if you want to compare games over the weekend, the Lions versus Argentina was a far better spectacle than this game. But I think that's okay. A lot of the time, the criticism against Super Rugby has been, well, it's all glitz
and glam and highlights, and nobody makes any tackles. Well, this game was anything but that.
Yeah. It's midwinter rugby, really.
Yeah, and a final, just knocked over some beer cans. A final should be a game which is, it goes down to potentially final play. Chiefs, they still had a chance to win at the death if they'd managed to get a miracle scrum penalty.
Yeah, we were hoping.
But no.
No, it didn't happen. And O'Connor came on at the very last minute
for a wee nice...
Did a nice little dart down the blind side, which they ended up getting penalty advantage for. And once that penalty advantage was given, then that's it. That's game over.
I think very deserved winners.
Yeah, you got to take your hats off. Absolute hats off to them.
The redemption story for Rob Penny is there. I think his contract's up. Do you think he gets an extension, or do you think he just goes out a winner?
It depends. He can choose, can't he? Yeah. If he wants to retain his position 100%, if he's got other plans to go offshore and coach somewhere in France or something like that.
Now's a good time to take that gig.
Yeah, potentially. But it's up. Yeah, his fate is in his own hands now.
There you go.
I get the feeling he's probably going to stick around.
Yeah. Well,
we'll see. We will see.
That's the Super Rugby season done.
Done. Bring on the internationals.
Back to a Crusaders win.
Bring on the internationals and bring on some high-quality content from you, Mark.
There we go. All Black squad naming tomorrow. Let's see how they go. A bunch of Crusaders will justifiably get selected. No, Monday.
Today's
Saturday. It's been a long weekend, so I feel like it's Sunday.
It's not Sunday.
No.
It's Saturday.
It's Saturday.
It's not Sunday.
Okay.
It's Saturday.
All right. Now that we've established what day it is... Take care, folks. Thank you, Tony, for standing in place of the whiteboard.
I'd make a terrible whiteboard.
You
can't. You couldn't write on me.
There's a bit more kind of banter than with the whiteboard.
But I don't actually.
I can't stick magnets on you the same way I can the whiteboard.
If I wore something magnetic, you could.
Yeah, maybe.
But in terms of, you probably find more. You get more information out of a whiteboard.
That's right.
It gives you the stats and what time people scored and all that sort of thing.
Well, we'll get that back next week.
Yeah, don't worry. If you're pining for the whiteboard, it'll be back.
It'll be back.
And I'll be gone.
All right, folks. Take care.
See ya.